In New Mexico, we know that water is life. There are very few places left where you can understand what that truly means. I can think of no greater example than the headwaters of the Gila in southwestern New Mexico. The upper Gila and San Francisco rivers are some of the last naturally flowing tributaries of the greater Colorado River watershed. 100 years ago, the spectacular landscapes and ecosystems shaped by these waters inspired a young forester named Aldo Leopold to call for the establishment of America's first wilderness area. Aldo Leopold foresaw that we needed to set aside wilderness areas to protect what he called the last big stretches of wild country. That foresight allows today's visitors to the Gila, including myself, to see much of the same glorious landscapes that inspired him so long ago. As long as I have lived in New Mexico, I have always been drawn to the Gila. Trips into places like McKenna Park, Turkey Feather Pass, the Jerky Mountains, the Middle Fork have given me the time and the space to grow closer to my family, to my friends, and to reflect on what is truly important in life. But we need to recognize that to truly protect the Gila's wilderness character, we need to conserve its wild and scenic waters. When you look at our rivers today, particularly in the American West, you'll find that nearly all of them are now shells of their former selves. Man-made dams, irrigation projects, and reservoirs, it's hard to really call them the same living, breathing rivers that they used to be. To see what has been lost in our rivers after more than a century of dams and development, just look downstream on the Gila River in Arizona. Before it was dammed and developed, long stretches of the Gila in Arizona flowed year-round. Today, after the Gila reaches the Coolidge Dam, the river is almost entirely dewatered as its path winds through the Phoenix metro, tribal lands, and major irrigation fields. And over the last century, there have been numerous proposals to construct similar dams or large-scale diversion projects to dewater the upper Gila in New Mexico. Thankfully, these proposals have all failed. That means we still have some of our few remaining wild and free-flowing segments of river in New Mexico, and really in the entire Southwest. It's long past time to protect these segments as wild and scenic. Since Congress passed the Wild and Scenic Rivers Act in 1968, this designation for our most treasured rivers has supported enhanced water quality, economic development, and increased recreation opportunities. That includes New Mexico's Rio Chama, the East Fork of the Jemez, and sections of the Rio Grande and the Pecos. The greater Gila and San Francisco watershed absolutely deserve the same recognition and protection. That's why I'm proud to be reintroducing the MH Dutch Salmon Greater Gila Wild and Scenic River Act. My legislation would permanently protect the Gila's free-flowing segments, attract more visitors to southwestern New Mexico, and grow our outdoor recreation industry. It will preserve the extraordinary scenic values found along many of the river segments, and it will help us protect critical habitat for unique native species like the Gila trout, the Gila chub, and the common blackhawk. I'm grateful to all the local stakeholders and community leaders in southwestern New Mexico over the years who provided input to make sure we got this legislation right. And I am humbled by all of the New Mexicans who have devoted themselves to protecting the Gila for future generations. That includes Ella Jazz Kirk, Michael Mall, and Ella Myers. And it includes the lifelong champion of the wild Gila River Dutch salmon. I can't think of any better way to honor the memory of these incredible New Mexicans who fought so hard for the Gila than permanent protection of this wild and scenic river. Thank you.